So, hello everyone, this is SavageCast. I'm here with my buddy Hunter.
Hello.
Yeah, I may or may not have gotten my hands on a game early, and now I'm here to tell you how it plays, and Hunter here as well had access to it. So,
hmm
we're gonna tell our stories of maybe the first 5-ish hours of the game. We're not gonna
Yeah.
go super far in, because this is not meant to spoil you. This is not meant to, discourage you from getting the game, but this is to
Buy it.
encourage you to get the game.
100% buy it.
Yeah, no,
It
seriously,
does
like,
deserve it this
I,
time.
like,
For certain.
I am a Nintendo critic. I absolutely despise Nintendo's business practices and a lot of their games. But
For him
Tears
to
of the
be saying
Kingdom,
this is huge.
Tears of the Kingdom seems to be doing a great fucking job, and I'm quite excited about it. But so hello Meg, how's it going? But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, great game. But there are a couple things that are like a little nitty gritty things that like I believe you had a few difficulties with as well, Hunter. Like mobs typically being a little bit spongy compared to
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. In Breath of the Wild, you could kill a bokoblin in like 3 hits, and they didn't ambush you with like 5 enemies at the same time.
hmm
Tears of the Kingdom
Yeah. Tears of
tends
the
to do that.
Kingdom seems to have tougher enemies.
Yeah, the difficulty is way higher, I would argue. Like
Yeah.
way higher, but it's not super
hmm
unforgiving. If you
It.
kill an enemy, you get rewarded for it, unlike in Breath
Oh
of the
yeah.
Wild. Breath of the Wild had that flaw in it where, oh, congrats, you killed a moblin. Now enjoy all these fangs and horns that you don't even
hmm
use for all you do is just pawn them off to Beetle. That's all you do.
Yeah. You're just like, oh hey Beetle, have 1,000 freaking moblin horns, and then he's just buried.
And he's just like, "Yay!" Wow.
Yeah, pretty
Woohoo!
much. But here they have use.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because every enemy in the game has a horn. What do you like
Mm-hmm.
most and dislike most about Tears of the Kingdom? The fact that the HP of the enemies is
Mm-hmm.
buffed and the damage that your weapons do is nerfed dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit they do this for the lore, which I guess makes sense, but it's
Yep,
also annoying. Um,
it
basically
is.
your traveler sword no longer well it still deals like 4 damage or so, but your royal swords, you know how they used to do 36? They deal like 8 or 9 now.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna come clean here when I say this. There are Hinoxes that you can fight, and there's one at a very early point in the game that you literally just cross by. And
Mm-hmm.
you just cross by it, and you have to, you more or less have to fight or sneak around it. It took me 3 attempts to do it, albeit one of those attempts was because it crashed. But like it took me 3 attempts to do that guy because he was just a damage sponge. And if I had like a knight sword that I would have frisked off of Hyrule Castle Town in Breath of the Wild, you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Supposedly all the weapons are decayed
Yeah, all the
in
weapons are
some way.
decayed according to the lore, and this is shown by like having like this like brown like sludge on the sword when you pick it up, or
Yep.
whatever
Much
weapon
like
it
the
is.
Master Sword in the trailers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Although unlike the Master Sword, these ones stay intact mostly because they were in direct contact.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. But I mean, there are and I theorized this and I was right because Hunter helped back it up with me. There is a way to cleanse them, apparently, or there might be a way to cleanse them.
Essentially. There
Or
is a way to get not decayed
there's a
weapons.
way
I
to get
don't know
undecayed
about.
weapons, which deal what looks to
hmm
be normal damage, though I could be wrong,
hmm
because we only had one case scenario on that.
I found a couple more, and they seem. I believe they do actually deal more normal damage
Okay, that's good.
because I found a few other non-decayed weapons.
Good. Alright, I'm loving the new abilities and how they make you think. Dude, on the gameplay video that I definitely didn't upload and get shut down 5 hours after I uploaded it, It took me like a good half hour on some of the shrines. Unironically, it took me about half of an hour to get some of the shrines completed because
You gotta be creative.
they're difficult, but like they make you jog your memory. It's not like
Yeah.
oh yeah, do the thing and you're there. Don't just do a bomb clip and you're done. And no, this isn't that. You actually have to use your head, not your glitches. And Breath of the Wild had a lot of those physics glitches that you could exploit. And before I piss off anyone about that, you can do puzzles in an unorthodox manner and still get them right. Cause I did. Cause I did.
Oh yeah,
Hunter
you can
knows
still
I did.
do that. You can still do it. It's just you can't do it with glitches.
Yeah,
Not
you can't
because
do it
the
with
glitches were
glitches,
patched per
but
se.
you
We
can
don't
do
know
some
for
real
sure if they're
mind
patched.
fuckery.
Because the items used for the glitches were stasis, bombs, magnesis, things we don't have anymore.
Yeah, but
At least
the
at the
whole
time.
ultra hand ability, which I'm gonna mention this on stream just because it's funny, is definitely a reference to Nintendo's Ultra Hand or Ultra Arm, whatever it's called. I feel like that's a very obvious reference, but I don't know. That's just me. I feel like if anyone knows what that is, it's like a giant blue like spring loaded like grabber. But yeah, those
Very
were made
old
back in the
Nintendo toy.
70s. Yeah, it's an old Nintendo toy that they made back in the 70s. You keep calling it the master hand. Thoughts on a shrine puzzle literally being a shape puzzle for toddlers? Wait, that's a real thing? I didn't know that, but that's also kind of funny.
Went through that one.
I never remember doing that one. It's probably because there's like
It's
100 of them.
a different one.
Yeah. But the fact that that exists is kind of funny because it really helps give people a reality check to the real world. Loving the fact that there's a Switch in the game. Yeah, the Pura Pad looks like a Nintendo Switch, but to me it looks more like a Steam Deck. It looks more like a Steam Deck.
It doesn't really have any joysticks, does it?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like...
It also doesn't have a D-pad.
It doesn't have any face buttons. It just has like that weird little eye in the front.
Which is apparently a camera.
Which is like a giant camera lens, apparently, and you can use it to scan whole fucking areas of the map. Which is really cool, by the way. Though that whole cutscene...
You can still use it as a camera.
Yeah.
But you have to get that unlocked a little later in.
Yeah. I should mention, spoiler alert for like the first 5 hours of the game. No shit, Sherlock.
Big spoiler.
No shit, Sherlock. Now I'm trying to figure out if the Sheikah Slate was the U-Draw pad for the Wii. Yes, it was. It was. That's the whole gimmick of it. That's the whole gimmick of it, Evan.
But yeah. We aren't going too deep into the game.
Yeah,
honestly,
we're just going to talk about like the first 5 hours of the game.
J6 not playing any more of it.
Yeah.
We want to experience the rest of it legit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Trust me. This game deserves the attention.
It really does.
The delays, worth it.
Yeah. I missed the
honestly,
U-Draw.
For this particular game, the price going up a little bit, understandable, as long as they don't do it for other freaking games.
They will, sadly. That's the sad part.
Unfortunately so.
They'll go like, ooh, Tears of the Kingdom sold 10 million units at $70. Let's hike up all other games to $70. That's what's going to happen, unfortunately. Worth the 6-year wait, Meg. 6-year wait. I would say yes. I would say yes, because here's a very inspirational quote by Miyamoto. A rushed game is forever bad. A delayed game is eventually good.
Yep.
Tears of the Kingdom was stuck in dev hell since 2021. Everyone expected it to be out late 2020, early 2021. And then it got pushed out and they gave an announcement about it and said, we're starting from scratch. And that's not a bad thing, because, I mean, still, Prime 4 is still in dev hell, but Pokemon's DLC is already up to $34. Ugh.
Yeah.
Speaking of DLC,
first announced in 2019.
Yeah, and we were all expecting it to be like 2021, but it's coming out in mid 2023.
Yeah, it took quite some time.
It did. But honestly, like, a Zelda game comes out around every 6 years. Skyward Sword came out in 2011. Breath of the Wild came out in 2017. And now Tears of the Kingdom in 2023. So it makes sense. And Twilight Princess came out in 2006. So that's 5 years between that and Skyward Sword. And
Yeah.
albeit Zeldas were a lot more frequent. Ocarina of Time, 98. Majora's Mask, 1000. Wind Waker, 03. So they're a lot more common there. But they've also gotten more expansive and have actually been able to take advantage of the hardware running the game. And that's why they're taking longer. And they're also, even though they're 6 years apart, they're also integrating these 2D games, these remasters, even though the Skyward Sword one was hot shit. The Link's Awakening remaster, which was overpriced as fuck, but really good. And of course, you had Link Between Worlds on the 3DS. You had the spin-off Triforce Heroes and a couple other games. Zelda is definitely the bread and butter of Nintendo, or one of the two bread and butters of Nintendo. Mario being the other one. But they treat the franchise really well. I like Skyward Sword HD. No changing my mind. Well, the only good thing about that was the controls. The controls actually being playable was good. Other than that, just play the Dolphin version, for God's sake. Just get a Wii remote. Like, hold on. Just get a Wii remote. Like, like this. Just get a Wii remote and a Dolphin bar and a nunchuck, and you're set to go. But yeah,
I'll be honest. To each their own with the games. Some people like the other ones. Some people like the better ones. It depends on person to person.
Yeah.
Because
Tears of the Kingdom still isn't as interconnected and massive and well designed as the Origami King. Ha. Shut the fuck up, Don. I'm banning you. No, I'm not banning you, but still, very, very much
King
of a piss
was,
take.
Odd. At least they ditched the one-use item attacks.
Yeah. But that we're actually, speaking of that concept, one use attacks. That's kind of a thing in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And who was in Washington? Like Washington State or DC? Paper Link and a fan base aneurysm, Lamo. But no. Crap, what was I gonna say? Oh, basically attack currency, which was very common in, Paper Mario, and is also common in, I'm gonna say it like it is, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Your weapons break. That is attack currency. You have to get new weapons to kill new enemies. And my one problem with Breath of the Wild was one of my problems with Breath of the Wild was them breaking a little bit too quickly. Thank you, CJ. So I actually, whenever I do a playthrough of Breath of the Wild, I mod the game and increase the durability by 50%. And that's the sweet spot for it. If you double the durability, it ruins the game entirely. If you make it 1.5, it makes sense, and you actually can manage your items better. But Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like the weapons break a lot faster. Like a lot faster than stock.
But there is a plus side to it that I'm going to explain.
Yep.
Fusion.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Because fusion makes it so that even weak items can at least be worth carrying with you.
A stick and a stone is 6 damage. Literally, like a fucking tree branch and a rock. You fuse them together. You just glue them together, and you have a little rock club.
Yeah,
which is
all you really lose is a tree branch because the rock you wouldn't have really been using anyways.
Exactly. No. And there are so many fucking pebbles and shit everywhere that it's negligible. And
and if you find a boulder,
how's it going, Finroy? You're eating a if you find a boulder, those things slam. Like, they have a higher damage. Like, you can get like 8 with a boulder, and if you combine it with like something metal, you basically have a pickaxe. Like, or just a giant blunt weapon that can mine with and, well, just smack shit with.
I actually fused a boulder with a shield, and I just had like this big rock in front of me whenever I shielded.
Why? Why? What the
Because
fuck?
I had no other weapons to fuse the boulder with. Toss it on the shield.
I wonder if you confuse two cherries and a twig. Ha ha, very funny. Zelda is now Gary's mod. This game is Gary's mod meets Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts meets Breath of the Wild. I will stand by that.
Very,
I will stand by that.
very crazy.
It's fun. It is very fun.
Very much so.
So let's talk about the Great Island, or the Great Sky Island. So
Yes.
it's not a copy paste of Great Plateau, because you don't activate a tower in the beginning. You just spawn on there. You get a Skyrim reference to you, and hey, you're finally awake is literally said in the game, which made me immediately think of Skyrim. Thanks, guys. I definitely know that that's a reference. So that happened. You walk out. Rauru, I'm just going to say it, from Ocarina of Time, he's back, and he's a giant bird spirit. And you go to... What?
Like Anubis, if anything.
He looks like an Anubis, kind of. Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
But there are 3 shrines you have to go to after talking to him. And basically, each one gives you one of the runes. Hand
Hold your
abilities.
hand, then I believe it was fuse, and then you get ascend.
Yes. And then once you go into the Temple of Time after, doing the 4th shrine, which they don't tell you about until you get back to the Temple of Time, which is kind of dumb in my opinion. Not a huge fan of that backtrack there, but that's 5 minutes. That's not
It's a creative way of slipping something in an area where you'd already been, but you go back with new abilities.
This is true. But yeah, once you get those 4 done, you pray to the Hylia statue, get yourself a 4th heart, and then you are able to open up the Sky Gate behind the Temple of Time, and basically you're free. You're more or less scot-free. You are free to just jump off after that point. Well, actually, there's a cutscene that you give your Master Sword to Zelda in, but past that, barring that, you just jump off the island and you are home free. I should mention on the island though.
Unless you hit ground in case you're dead.
Yeah, well, if you hit ground, you're a fucking bug on a windshield.
Yep.
There is a frozen area.
You don't have the paraglider at first either.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, we'll get to the paraglider in a second here.
Yep.
But there is a cold area, just like Mount Hylia was in the Great Plateau. There is a cold area on the southeast part of the island where the 3rd shrine is. There are a couple peppers there. The only issue I could see some noobs having is not picking up the peppers and cooking them. I feel like that's glaringly obvious if you play Breath of the Wild. But if you haven't, you're gonna want to do that, or else you're just not gonna advance through the game. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna die of cold every other second.
It's mentioned quite often to you by the residents.
Oh yeah, by the robots there, or Zonai creatures. Is Zelda related to the Zonai? Technically, yes. Zelda is a descendant of a distant king, a distant king who was a Zonai. Rauru was actually the king, and he was a Zonai, and he married a princess, a Hylian princess, and yada yada yada. Family tree.
Yep.
So that's the whole story there. The devs are
sweet. All of the Zelda storyline condensed into a few words.
Okay, the devs are not literally as big as the Great Plateau. The devs are like Blackreach. They span the entire fucking world.
Yeah, the devs are
so
huge.
The devs are like, we'll get to the devs in a second. Let's take one bit at a time. Let's take one bit at a time. But yeah, so off the island, you drop down. There are like 3 lakes beneath you where you drop down. You land in one, or else you're a bug on a windshield and you have to jump back down again. But you just get to take in the scenery there, and there you'll see a tower with a giant fortress area. Thank you, CJ. You'll see a giant fortress area, and that's a new town. well, I say town, but it's like Lookout. It's called Lookout Landing. It's where all the it's where all the important characters from Breath of the Wild are. Well, most of them. Most of the ones from Kakariko are there, and Hatino are there. Robbie's there. All the Sheikah people are there.
Robbie's there temporarily. I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, but basically you talk to Pyrrha, who then basically the Suns. Oh, the Suns. Oh, the Suns have their company booming, and they're everywhere. Of course, I haven't seen any of them, but they're everywhere essentially. So that company, Hudson Construction Company, has boomed as a result of like rebuilding everything.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And Terrytown is still there on the map.
Really?
Yes, it's mentioned in game that there's so many towns, and Terrytown is one of the ones mentioned.
Good. That's something that I didn't know.
Yeah,
but that makes me happy to hear.
So,
but
because if you go into the emergency shelter, they have a map with all the different towns on it, and Terrytown is mentioned as one of those towns.
Emergency shelter.
In Lookout Landing, if you go and talk to the guy in the center, he'll open up the emergency shelter, and there's people down there, there's beds and whatnot, so yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that existed. As you can tell.
They mentioned it in-game. Purah literally mentioned it in-game before you did the tower.
Oh my god.
You fool!
That's something. Well, that's something. I was too glued on doing the fucking tower. I was just like, let me hit the tower. Let me hit the tower. Let me hit the tower. I was so focused on that. But there's like 2 shrines nearby Lookout Landing. There's one directly to the north, and there's one directly to the south, right near a gaping hole. And there's one to the north in Old Castletown, which is now just leveled. Leveled, clear of malice. There's no Knight Sword or Knight Shield there anymore. There is a Korok on the fountain though. But the like main part of the quest is you're supposed to go up to the first gatehouse in Hyrule Castle, because that's still intact on the ground. And basically you find Zelda there. She warps back up into the sky, and then you have to talk to Pyrrha, and then she lets you activate the first tower. Yada yada yada. Bunch of the story unfolds to like you have to go to the 4 incidents, which are basically in the same major cities as the last game. Zora's Domain, Goron City.
We don't know
Rito
what
Village.
The incidents are yet.
I don't know either.
Know they're in the same general locations.
I don't know either, except maybe Rito, which has a slight blizzard going on. Everything's like in a nuclear winter, but I don't know like where it's coming from. So like there's a giant thundercloud in the sky, but that's
Gerudo, but there are like caverns. Like they're
oh yeah, there's caverns everywhere in this game now.
Yeah, you can't get over there unless you have like a ton of stamina.
Malice. Yes, that is also true. Death Mountain no longer oozes out lava. It is just malice.
It's not called malice in this game though, oddly enough.
Gloom.
Yep.
But yeah, Death Mountain is now inactive. It's dormant.
Yeah. We can probably get to the gloom stuff when we talk about the deaths.
Yeah, we'll get to the deaths soon.
Very soon.
But yeah, Death Mountain is no longer erupting. It's dormant, and it just has malice coming out of it. Methinks, and this is just me going out on a limb here, you go into the center of it, there's either a dungeon or of some sort, because we know dungeons are confirmed, as well as shrines. There could be either a dungeon inside of it, or there could be a giant entrance to the depths. I don't know. This is just pure speculation. You could probably prove or disprove me. Well, a dungeon would have a boss inside it, CJ. But yeah, it could lead to the depths. It could lead to a dungeon. I don't know. None of us know. So that would be interesting. It'd be interesting to find out.
Not early, anyways.
Not early. Not early. Yeah, no, not early on.
We are not going to go any further.
Yeah.
At this point until we get the game for ourselves.
You'll have to see me stream that live. Week 1. potentially.
Yeah, I need to figure out how I'm gonna get it.
Is
I
there
know my
no
sister's getting it.
stores nearby that offer it?
Um, I think so. I just don't know how I'm gonna get it quickly.
Fair point. You want to get it soon? I'm getting it day one. In fact, like, I shit you not, my credit card company gave me a $75 gift card for Best Buy. So I have a free copy of Breath of the Wild sitting right here. I'm Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom right here.
Nice.
And they
Nice.
also gave me another $5 certificate. So I mean, like, I might just buy the special edition and
Why
just
not?
leave it at that. Dumb question.
Yeah.
Isn't Breath of the Wild non-linear? Yes. And Tears of the
hmm
Kingdom, it looks like it's non-linear.
It's a weird combination,
It's
I'd
a
say,
hybrid.
because
It's a hybrid.
yeah,
Because there
yeah,
are dungeons, there are hardline dungeons, just
yeah.
like in Twilight Princess and all the other games.
You
But
can
there's
go
also
out of
shrines.
order if you want to, but it's a lot harder if you do.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I tried to go to Gerudo before the Rito, and I am finding myself faced with like Hinoxes, giant caverns, and with the Rito, it's not nearly as difficult because that's the one the game tells you to go for first.
Yes.
And I
It's
even tried to get onto the castle early.
oh.
Failed. I didn't get as far, but I was decently close.
Okay. But
So if
yeah,
you manage to get close enough or use the right machinery, you could probably get on the castle pretty early.
that being said, Hunter, I have heard because you need to have the Master Sword fix, gain some health before you can reclaim Hyrule. Yeah. It's definitely more linear than Breath of the Wild, I would argue.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm certain that if as we unfold it, it is going to be quite linear. And that's going to be unfortunate to some, but I also feel like it kind of makes sense at least
Mm-hmm.
until you get the Master Sword. But
Yeah.
it does make some sense, but you can still explore freely. You're just going to have
Oh
a more
yeah.
difficult time. The game doesn't
As
say
I said,
no,
I
you
tried
can't
to go
go
to
here.
Gerudo and I almost
Yeah.
succeeded.
The game doesn't say no, you can't go here. The game says you should probably stay away from here. You're not leveled up enough. But if you have
Mm-hmm.
the skills to pay the bills, you could definitely do that.
Yeah.
There are no guardians. There are no guardians.
Yes. No more guardians.
Guardians are gone.
Yeah. No
Guardians
more
are gone.
scary piano.
They are instead replaced with Hinoxes, giant fucking bokoblins, little bokoblins, moblins, fucking gleoks, literally likes are back.
A lot of stuff is back.
A bunch of enemies are back, and from previous games before Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's nutty. There are a lot of new enemies, and they are all very spongy. Their HP is very spongy. I don't know if Lionels are in the game.
Fun.
I don't think they are. I legit don't think they are. I could be wrong, but I don't
Which
think they're in the
ones?
game. But there are just a bunch of new types of enemies that make the game insanely more difficult to traverse. And the fact that they have like really bloated HP, at least in early
Oh,
game where we are right now,
or at least it seems bloated.
it
It might
seems
just be our
bloated.
crappy weapons.
It seems bloated.
Yeah. Because again, decayed weapons.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't know if that's going to be a
Ugh.
thing that gets cured or if it gets remedied or if you can
It
like,
might,
yeah, you
because
never know.
the undamaged weapon, like the undecayed weapons, had a special little symbol at the end
A
of their
little like
names.
glimmer symbol next to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 days, you're all gonna have
So
weapons that are plus 20. Okay, joke's on you. If you checked my gameplay video before it got shot down, I had a Hinox hammer that dealt 22 damage. The problem is, it probably has fuck all durability.
yep.
It probably wouldn't even be able to kill Hinox with it.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the weapons in this game, is that like I feel like if they maybe increase the durability by 50%, it'd be slightly more enjoyable.
Yeah.
That is my only gripe with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, or one of my gripes with both those games, is the durability is just fucking awful. It's a little too awful.
You
There's
can't
there's
even
like
prepare
a
for when a
scale.
weapon's gonna die because there's no like durability bar in like there is in say Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like your weapon is about to break. Oh great, what do I do now?
Throw it.
Ooh.
But no, the fact that it doesn't have like a durability gauge is kind of annoying. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that like if you were to have a perfect scale for like durability, it's a little too like durability is a little too frail in this game. If they literally just
Mm-hmm.
increased it by like 30%, it probably would have been a lot more enjoyable. At least in the early game. I'll probably be eating my shirt. Later game, I don't know. I could be entirely wrong. I could be entirely right. This is all just
And then
speculation.
again, there is still fuse, so if all your weapons do break, get a stick, get a rock. Fuse, boom, you have a makeshift.
Exactly. No, you can always get something in a pinch, which is always
Yep.
nice.
So that's a big upgrade compared to the durability of Breath of the Wild, where you had to find a legitimate weapon to
Mm-hmm.
actually get decent damage.
Exactly.
Also, on the terms of weapons, elemental arrows are gone straight up.
They are gone straight up. Instead, you have to fuse arrows with stuff like fire fruit, ice fruit,
Mm-hmm.
glimmer fruit. Heck, like there are bomb flowers. Bomb flowers are back
Mm-hmm.
from the previous installments. And yeah, they deal a shit ton of damage. Unironically, they probably deal more damage than any of the weapons in your arsenal combined. They deal a lot of damage.
I think
And
the
if you
bomb
attach one
arrows
to a
from
shield,
Breath of the Wild pale in comparison to them.
yeah, if you use if you attach one to your shield and you guard with it, it's really nice. It's really nice. You can kill bosses and stuff with it. It's really nice.
But there's also other materials that are like very unique because there's one that makes the enemies confused, like it has these spores, and then there's another one that
Oh.
it's a mushroom that you can't eat, but that's because its spores are hazardous. These materials that I just mentioned are in the depths, and there's
Ah.
bomb flowers in the depths as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Should we start talking about the deaths?
Probably. We've talked about the Sky Island, we've talked about the surface, we've talked about the weapons. So the depths is a good place to go next.
Yeah. So I didn't do this, but Hunter did. Apparently,
Oh yeah.
Robbie will teach you how to enter the depths early
Mm-hmm.
on, as there is a hole to the depths just south of Lookout Landing, and you just drop down there and you're in the depths. But Hunter, I'll let you continue this.
All right. So this quest is mostly to get the camera. However, I found out it's
Oh, and Hunter died. Oh, oh, you're back.
hello again. But it's actually a really good place to go if you're needing like a variety of stuff. But it is dangerous.
Very.
It is very dangerous because the enemies, most of them, there are a few exceptions, but most of the enemies are covered in the gloom stuff that was mentioned earlier. And there's also gloom scattered about, much like there was malice in Breath of the Wild. But it gets worse. The gloom doesn't just damage you, it lowers your max HP if you're hit.
Think of if you've ever played Fallout, where if you're in a radiated area, it lowers your max HP. This is the same fucking thing.
Yep. So if you stand in like the ground gloom too long, it will take a heart off your max HP. And if you get hit by an attack from one of the gloom covered enemies, it will take a heart or possibly more from your max HP. And you can't recover that until you either leave the depths or get to a light route.
Let
Light
me talk
routes,
about the light roots.
cool, go on ahead.
Light roots are a very interesting thing. They cure the HP sickness that you get from being down in the depths. Is the heart gone permanently? No, we're just about to talk about that. It cures that HP heart sickness. It doesn't refill the hearts though. It does not.
No, you
But
still have to
basically,
heal.
yeah, you still have to heal. But basically, these of what we can theorize, there is one light route under where every shrine is located. For every shrine that is located on the surface map, there is a light route directly underneath it in the depths. And a great
vice
analogy
versa.
for the depths is if you ever played Link to the Past or Link Between Worlds, the depths is like a dark world. It's more dangerous. There's a lot more loot, but there's also a lot more consequences involved.
You want to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
So, and no, the HP is not permanently gone.
Yeah, you cure it if you is the game more like a traditional Zelda with dungeons? Yes, it is. There are the shrines from Breath of the Wild, which allow you to upgrade your health and stamina. Yes, those are still there, and they're pretty decent. But of what I know, and I have not gotten to any of the dungeons yet, because, again, this is early game, but of what I can speculate, there are what I assume to be 5 dungeons, 5 major dungeons. And, of course, the castle, which might be a dungeon of its own, or it might just be the boss fight. I have no fucking clue. This is all speculation.
We are very far from that.
If that's true, this game... No, seriously, though. It could be... It's a hybrid game. It's linear, but not linear. It has shrines, but it also has dungeons. And I like that. It's the best of both worlds. And I'm very much a guy that likes...
Depths. The depths are completely free roam in a way, as long as you stay out of the gloom.
Yeah, well, obviously that. But basically, another thing, like, you know how I made my light world, dark world comparison? The depths is more or less a one-to-one of the surface. There are some differences, like instead of shrines, you have the roots, the light roots. But you also have...
There's something weird, though, that I want to mention.
Oh, yeah?
Because I've been exploring the depths, it doesn't seem as damaged. So if it is one-to-one, it's one-to-one of Breath of the Wild.
Well, I say one-to-one, but it's not entirely one-to-one. Like, there are obviously going to be some minor modifications between the two maps, like say, this stone pillar isn't here, or this rock isn't here, or this tree isn't here. There's obviously going to be some minor deviance, like, to it. But if you look at the two maps at a bird's eye view, they're going to look pretty freaking similar.
Yep.
Now, if you get to the fine-grained details, they're obviously different. But...
Oh, yeah.
If they upgrade the graphics, it would be perfection. Well, that's why I emulate it. But no, the graphics look really good. Like, I'm unironically saying this, and I fucking hate how ass backwards Nintendo is with actually, like, you know, doing a good job with their graphics, which is why I emulate all their games, because I can make them look better that way. But Breath of the Wild looks good, yeah, but it looks good for a Wii U game. It doesn't look good for a Switch game when you compare it to Tears of the Kingdom. And I mean that. And that's rough for me to say, because I love Breath of the Wild, and I love how beautiful it is. Yep. But when you compare it to Tears of the Kingdom, the lighting is slightly more fine-tuned. The fire looks a whole lot better. They overhauled the crap out of the fire, like fire effects. It looks so much better now. There are a couple other miscellaneous things here and there. Is there a South Labyrinth in the depths? We don't know. We don't know if any of the Lomai Labyrinths... actually, no, that's a lie. I know the North Lomai Labyrinth still exists, but basically it was lifted up 50 feet and rotated 10 degrees. So I don't know if it's accessible or not.
We know nothing about the labyrinths.
Yeah, we know nothing about the labyrinths. We know
at least really two exist. Outside of Central Hyrule, even.
Yeah. The only areas we explored
except
are...
for him.
Or but no,
yeah, he knows about the sort of Rito area.
Yeah, I know a little bit about the Rito area. Basically, imagine the entire Tabantha region, like surrounding Rito Village, got snowed over.
Yeah, he knows more about Rito. I know more about the depths.
Yeah, that's all we basically.
I'm the crazy person who went into the depths and then just stayed there.
Well, it's just like you in Minecraft. You're just mentally insane. But no. So there are a couple like I will say this: the graphics do look a lot better. There are a couple things that are wished for. Not much about Death Mountain. No, we didn't go up to Death Mountain because the game advises you to go towards Rito, and I went towards it, and Hunter was just like, ha ha ha, underground. He also tried Gerudo. Gerudo was like basically difficult. He couldn't get to the desert because it was just untraversable given the amount of mobs there. And
because I tried to go over that way.
Death Mountain, we can literally look at gameplay from trailers and stuff. Death Mountain no longer has lava. It is dormant as shit. It is dormant as fuck. I think that there's either a hole down to the depths there, or there is a dungeon there. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking in the summit, is there's a dungeon or something in that hole there.
Oh, Jacek, I actually got to the Great Plateau.
You did?
Yeah, it is beat up as heck.
I believe it.
And there's like some powerful monsters there. There's a electric Wizrobe over there.
Oh boy.
It is no longer the tutorial place.
It is no longer a tutorial. Dangerous. It is a fuck you. You don't belong here.
Yep.
Well, CJ, I'm gonna mention a story here again. Tears of the Kingdom, I'm going to kindly guess, given the age of some of the people, I'm going to kindly guess that the game is maybe anywhere between 5 and 10 years in the future. I could be wrong about that, but like the little Rito kids that go to Warbler's Nest for that one shrine trial, most of them look older now. They're not adults, but instead of looking like kids, they look like teenagers. They look like adolescent Rito. Except for the pink one. The pink one is, I guess, the runt of the family, or the baby one. I don't know.
The youngest.
Yeah, the youngest. But I would definitely say maybe 5 to 10 years.
Pura herself.
Pura no longer looks like a lolly.
Yep.
She looks like a maybe 20-year-old, I guess. Though she still acts like a... Don, I just think that's total bullshit. I just think that's total bullshit, Don.
I'm not gonna ask.
Yeah. Who asked? I'm gonna find out who asked. No. But yeah.
Here, let me run a program to see who asked.
Yeah, no one.
Hey, it gave me an error.
It gave me negative square root of -1, which is imaginary.
Gave me -7 billion.
Square root of -7 billion?
No, just straight up -7 billion. 7 billion people who didn't ask.
Nice. It gave me pi, Lamo.
Ooh, pie.
What flavor is it?
Pie.
The fuck?
Pie.
Oh. Okay. So the deaths. Was there anything extra about them that you want to tell everyone?
Firstly, that's where you can get some of the undecayed weapons.
Yes.
You'll find humanoid figures, like, they're humanoid, but they're like shadowy.
They're just black shadows, essentially.
Yes. And they will be holding out a weapon like this, and it can vary what weapon it is. I got a spear, and I got a few other things. But they are not decayed. Those weapons are not decayed. Because I found 3 of them. None of those were decayed.
Okay.
On another note, you find a lot of zonite.
I was about to mention it.
Yep. Not just the like enemies drop a ton of it. There's ore veins of it.
Really?
Yeah. And the ore veins are plentiful. Like, you find 5 of them in one spot.
Wow. Okay.
And considering how big a deal the zonite is, that's huge.
Don't you need like a couple hundred of it to upgrade the batteries that Link
has? You need
has?
100 of it.
You need 100 to upgrade one battery, but I assume it's like 200 after that, and then 300, yada yada.
I was down there maybe 30 minutes, and I had like 50. Plus some large zonite.
Damn. I assume the large is probably worth like 5 or so.
Probably.
I mean, like, you have to send. Oh, another thing about zonite, you have to send it to a refinery, and then that's how you upgrade the batteries. which I assume also costs rupees or something. I don't fucking know. We haven't done that. But I know both of us have encountered the refineries.
Yeah.
Wow, so gas? No,
Well,
no. Ore is
there is
refined.
the one in the Sky Island.
Yeah, there is one in Skyland right where you're revived, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's right near the fourth shrine on the Great Sky Island. Right next to it, as a matter of fact. Right next to it.
Yeah. So also, you can get really creative with the new abilities because you can combine Ultra Hand and Reverse by pulling an item up somewhere, and even if it isn't a flat surface, you can still keep it up there by once you get up there and it falls down, you just reverse it and you run back up before it finishes reversing.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, item up there, you're up there.
That's a good little. It's a good little pick me up, I guess. There are probably better ways to get up, but that's one that would work in a pinch when there's like stone
less
ground.
You getting up and more you getting an item up there, even if it's slanted.
Ah, I didn't think about that. That's also clever.
Because if you try and push an item up there and then drop it, it's gonna fall off.
Yep.
If you try and pull it up there, when you're up there, you can't reach.
Gotcha.
So you pull it up there, let it fall, and then you reverse it and grab it while it's up there.
That makes sense. What is your favorite current hand ability? Well, Ultra Hand. I feel like that's a stupid fucking one. Like I feel like that's just I don't know, obvious in a way. It's magnesis.
I'd say that
but better.
I'd say that Fuse is probably one of the good ones as well because
it's good for combat.
You can't actually smack stuff with Ultra Hand.
No, you can't. But you can like pick shit up and move it around and rotate it.
Doesn't even matter if it's metal.
So glad they added that.
Doesn't matter if it's metal or not.
Yep. It doesn't matter if it's metal anymore. You can pick up wood fucking crates and just yeet them in the air.
Oh yeah, and rush rooms on the walls, you can just pluck them
grab
right
them
off
the walls and take them.
Yep. I encountered a rush room on my trek through the island, and I saw it, and I was like, I wonder if I can pick that up. And I just plucked it off, pulled it right over to me.
That's really cool. I'm so glad that exists.
And there's no cooldown really on them.
Yeah, there's no cooldown on like obviously.
Actually, there's no cooldown on any of them.
There's no cooldown on any of the hand abilities. None.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. Because you can cut off a reverse and then go straight into another reverse.
Well, that's
you can use ascend
it's good
multiple
for if you
times
fuck
in
up
a
a
row.
reverse.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
But no, the rewind is also really useful. Say a giant spike ball is coming towards you, you can use reverse on it and just say no you.
Or in another case, I actually encountered a bokoblin camp around a tower, and they had a spike ball that was right in front of me when I ascended through the bridge, and I could just stop them from moving the spike ball by just reversing it because they couldn't move it worth a darn because it was moving backwards in time, which meant it was just sitting there.
That's funny.
And they were all like, yeah, we got him. And it was just sitting there. And I'm like, you idiots.
Yay, we killed the dude with the sexy hair. Ah!
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, no. I really am enjoying the hand abilities. As Hunter said, there's like a camera rune. How do you access the camera rune? Or how do you use it, I should say?
It's pretty much the same as Breath of the Wild once you get it.
Really?
Yeah, straight up. And it has the Hyrule Compendium and everything.
Oh my god, that's a relief. Okay, so there is that.
Because unlike the hand abilities, the camera is actually part of the pad and not the hand.
Yeah.
So, and it's made clear that that's the case.
Gotcha.
So
But
it
do
makes
you just
complete
press L
total
to access the
sense.
camera, essentially? Is that what you do or no?
You can hold L down and then move to the slice of the selection that is the camera. So it's
Oh,
still the
okay.
same way of accessing it as like the hand
Yeah,
abilities.
that's what I was confused about, but thank you for
So yeah,
elaborating on that. An eye in
yeah,
his
I
hand would be
believe.
cool. What is he, fucking Moonlord from Terraria?
No, no, he isn't there a boss in Legend of Zelda that has eyes in his hands?
That would be Mario.
Oh yeah,
That'd
Mario
be Mario
64
64.
or Mario Odyssey, I guess.
Really? Yeah, that's the temple boss in Mario in
Yeah,
Shifting
that.
Sandland.
Yeah. Or Kirby, I think. Kirby had one of those as well, I think. I don't know. My
I don't
brain's dead
recall.
right now.
Oh, by the way, recall is what that rewind ability is called. Recall.
Recall. Cool.
Really fun ability. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's damn useful. It is super useful,
Yep.
especially when you have a falling chunk of rock falling from the sky and you want to go upstairs and see what's up there. You just rewind the rock when you're on top of it and
Oh
you go up to the
yeah.
skyline.
Nothing really actually moves when you're selecting something to recall.
Yes, everything freezes in time. So so if you
Yep.
just need to pause the game and look at your surroundings, using recall helps.
Mhm.
Same thing with ascend. Ascend ascend basically once you climb through a floor and Link is just like halfway melting through the floor, the game
Mm-hmm.
pauses. The game pauses
Yeah,
and
so
you
you
can
can look
just view
around
your
and see if you
surroundings.
actually want to pop out or.
Yeah, or you can just, or if you don't want to pop out, you just press cancel and then you shoot back down, which is
Mm-hmm.
really weird to look at. The animation's really goofy and I like it. But no, it's a good game mechanic. It's a good game mechanic.
Yeah. They I I have this joke. Like I figure that they probably accidentally made Link clip through a ceiling somehow, and they're like, you know what, keep that.
They probably had that happen actually. I almost guarantee
Because
you that that's how that was made.
yeah, because in the console for the emulation, it literally is called ceiling clip.
You're probably right then.
So yeah. So
Someone
considering
was
it's
playing with
called
No
ceiling
Collide
clip
and did
and
that
not
by
like
accident.
anything else. Yeah.
Is there any other things that we forgot to cover? Trying to think here.
We got everything about the depths, except maybe that there's unique materials you can pick up there.
Oh yeah, you can get pose. Pose are back.
Oh yeah,
Pose
pose
are
are
back,
back.
and how you get
Um,
them is similar to how you get fairies.
mhm.
In Breath of the
They're
Wild.
in low concentrated groups in the depths.
Yeah,
They don't flee when you run towards them though, which is odd. But they're like concentrated groups.
but there's an exchange machine that if you give pose to, you get random reward or you get certain rewards. Again, I don't know what the rewards are. Hunter,
They're actually that particular thing isn't the only one.
that
There's
isn't the only
other
pose
larger
changer.
ones in the depths
There's
somewhere.
really.
Yeah, I haven't gone it far enough to see what those are, but the rewards from the one in Lookout, not the best.
Oh, okay.
You do get the Shadow Tunic there, though.
Oh, okay.
It
So that's how you
costs
get that.
150 pos.
I totally agree. Well,
Not
Moses.
sure about anything else.
So Moses, I actually did upload a 6-hour gameplay video onto YouTube, and it got shut down within 5 hours of me uploading it.
Yeah.
Lesson learned: don't upload when it's midday for the Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
because Nintendo Japan is a douchebag. It is truly a tragedy. I'm glad you agree. I'm glad you agree. But it's a great game. Like me
Mm-hmm.
playing it, me being able to play it like 9 days early, convinced me to buy it. I was not going to buy it otherwise. I legit was like, I'm not buying this game if I
Yep.
can't play it early, because I wasn't just going to buy a game that I haven't played and go like, well, I'm just gonna assume off of this gameplay video that, or like off of this like 1 minute trailer that it looks good. Because that's all it was. Like that Zeltic video was like the most detailed info that I had of this game before I got my hands on it. And that's sad, because Breath of the Wild had a whole fucking Great Plateau demo at E3 9 months before the game released. Tears of the Kingdom didn't even have a demo. It didn't even have a playable demo. It had a couple YouTubers and like little presentations for like 5 minutes tops. It's stupid, bro. It's stupid. And
yeah,
and here's another goofy thing that I'm gonna rant about. When I looked through my comment section when I uploaded that video, there were like 5 people like reported. Are you people that stupid to report like a gameplay video that is supposed to convince you to buy a game? Oh my god, people are stupid, bro. People are stupid as shit. I'm trying to convince you guys that the game is good, or in the case of when I did that Pokemon Scarlet video, I'm trying to convince you guys to not buy it. Because that game's terrible.
I got it anyways because I'm just Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
I will say that
it's glitchy as shit.
The Pokemon don't spawn until you're like 6 feet away from them.
Yeah, no, the ones who are like reporting the streams and stuff are stupid. That's something I do appreciate the Kirby devs for all the mainline games at least. Some of the mainline games for Kirby I heard are like kind of mid. Not terrible. Like, no, I don't think there's a Kirby game I can put a finger on that is quote unquote terrible. Now for Sonic, oh boy, there are a bunch of bad Sonic games, but there are a lot of good Sonic games too. But Kirby, the Kirby games are either like a 5 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. They're never like gaudy or anything, but they're usually playable. They're usually like a decent, like maybe 20-hour game. Nothing I would pay $60 for. But like if you just want to play a game with like your 6-year-old like 6-year-old sister or brother, you know, just like a game to lounge out with. It's a good game for that. It's a game made to enjoy, not to like sweat over. I have heard Forgotten is pretty good.
Being able to try out Tears of the Kingdom was really, really helpful because my sister has not even seen trailers for Tears of the Kingdom. She's going in completely blind. She doesn't know the abilities. She doesn't know like the plot. Nothing.
If I were to go and ask what's the worst Kirby game, I get 7 different answers. Yeah. Meanwhile, if you were to ask what's the worst Zelda game, you'd have a lot of people saying the CDI games, or you'd have a lot of people saying the N64 games, as well as some people saying Wind Waker, some people saying Zelda 2. You would get like 8 different answers, but there's also like a lot of different games in the franchise that are all very, very radically different. Like Zelda 2 is a fucking like hardline RPG almost in a way. Meanwhile, you have Ocarina of Time, which was like a breakthrough in 3D technology. And I'm gonna be frank with you here, Link to the Past was a fucking masterpiece of a 2D game. That is my favorite 2D Zelda.
I haven't even played it. I can agree.
Like, you need to get Ian up your ass and have him like coach you through that game, because that game's fucking fun. It's difficult. You need to have someone with you to play it, but it's fun.
Yeah, I think that Cadence of Hyrule shares some similarities to Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Not like tons, but enough that I kind of understand the gist of Link to the Past.
So, Moses, my first Zelda game was Breath of the Wild, and because of that, I played Ocarina of Time shortly after that, hated it. I played Majora's Mask, didn't even finish it, and hated it. Ocarina of Time I actually did beat, and I don't know, it just felt dated as shit to me. And I know that's a really hot take for most Zelda fans. Dated as shit to me. Majora's Mask, don't like the concept. It's cool. It's a cool concept. I don't like it. Wind Waker, very fun game. I love Wind Waker. Wind Waker is super fun, but please, for the love of God, don't kill yourself. Actually play the HD remake on Cemu or on a Wii U. Don't play the GameCube version. please don't play the GameCube version. The GameCube version has a certain quest line in it that is fixed in the remaster.
Wind water.
Getting the Triforce shards is a utter bitch. Which console is Wind Waker in? Wind Waker is on the GameCube as well as the Wii U. I would highly recommend you play the Wii U remaster. As a fellow player of Majora's Mask, it's dog shit. Yeah, it's dog shit. The concept is amazing. It has one of the best concepts of any Zelda game. It's executed really poorly.
Yeah.
It's executed
the time limit
god-awfully.
Interesting.
It's interesting, but like it suffers a similar problem to one of my favorite Zelda games, Twilight Princess, where the first dungeon takes like 2 hours to get to. I love Twilight Princess, but for God's sake, the beginning is agonizing. It makes you not want to play the game. The beginning of Twilight Princess. Link's Awakening Remaster was fun. It definitely didn't hold your hand, which I don't know if I liked or disliked. I'll side on with I liked it. I was able to play it blind and semi-enjoy it. There were a couple quest lines that were stupid. Games with time limits always fail. Even Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns was a failure because of the time crap. Yeah, no. Time limits, I feel like, are an interesting concept, but they are a concept I do not like. And I think it is utterly and brutally flawed. Because you have to do I guess in a way, a perfect run at the end of the game in order to, complete it or beat it or what have you. And in the case of Majora's Mask, you have to get like, what is it, like 36 masks or something, and then give them all to these kids on the moon to get the fierce deity, and it's just like, I don't want to see that shit again. It's too grindy, bro. It's too grindy. You literally have to do all the side quests in Majora's Mask in order to like enjoy beating the final boss, or just don't and suffer. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I feel like it's dated, just like the game before it. The N64 games were very dated. Twilight Princess had a terrible beginning. The beginning is absolute shit. Ordon Village, that whole fucking story bit in Ordon Village sucks. The tutorial is okay there, but like doing all the fishing.
My sister's playing Twilight Princess.
Yeah. The first 2 hours of the game sucks. The latter part of the game is pretty freaking good. And once you get closer and closer to the end, it gets more and more decent. Except for like maybe the last dungeon before the castle. That one kind of sucks. But overall, the game's like maybe a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. I never even got past the Goron dungeon because it's so annoying. Wait, in Twilight Princess, you never got past the Goron dungeon? That's not even a bad dungeon. I would say the water dungeon in Twilight Princess is much worse.
Oh.
It's also really long. Oh, Majora's Mask. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, no. That dungeon sucks because it's a giant vertical hellhole. I know exactly what you're talking about, Corbin. Fuck that place. I hate that dungeon. Sorry, what were you saying, Hunter? I cut you off. Hunter.exe. That stopped working.
Check chat.
Check chat. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Hunter. I appreciate it. I like Skyward Sword, but man, the controls suck for a Switch. Really? I thought they would be like a good quality of life thing. Oh, speaking of quality of life things, whenever your inventory is full in Tears of the Kingdom, it allows you to dump an item. It allows you to dump a weapon.
There's a caveat to that, Jacek. It has to be a weapon that has a higher damage.
No, that's not true.
I checked.
No, that's not true. Trust me. I there is gameplay footage of me. Like,
if it was lower damage, it just wouldn't let me take it.
That was probably just a bug or just like maybe a controller.
Either that or that was when I tried to pick up an item off the ground.
That was probably an item off the ground, dude.
Yeah, that's the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you were just
whenever you open a chest, it lets you drop items.
Yeah, it lets you drop items now. So it's similar to how Twilight Princess HD is like, oh, you got rupees, but your wallet's full, so let's just put them back. Except this is better because, oh, you got a weapon. your inventory's full. But you can toss one now instead of going through the same fucking animation again, like in Breath of the Wild, where it's like, you got a cool weapon. Your inventory's full. Close. And then you gotta open up the fucking chest again, which takes another like 10 seconds.
Yep, once
No,
you
that is a huge
drop something
QLL
out
thing.
of your inventory. But yeah, now if you open the chest, it'll show you all of your weapons or whatnot.
Or
And you
whatever
can be
you're
like,
trying to dump, yeah.
oh, toss this one, and then it'll just be like, okay, cool, here's your item.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I think that is a giant
Mhm.
QLL improvement. What other QLL stuff is there? I heard there'll be 150 shrines. Is it like, I'm thinking there's either 120 or 160. Again, this is all speculation. I'm just gonna take what you say as speculation. No offense, Moses. But that's just because none of us know. This game's not
Yeah.
even out yet. None of us know. All I know is that it's 4 shrines equals a heart or stamina upgrade. And
Odds are it'll be a multiple of 4.
yeah. Like I heard there'll be 17 heart containers. That's a lot. That's a lot. Wait, you saw the gameplay? The gameplay that I did or someone else's or isn't there Gandorf? Isn't that what the Demon King is? I'm confused.
I had a stroke?
Yeah. I had a stroke. Hunter, what are you what's wrong, dude? You want to know what happens at the beginning? You have 30 hearts and then it gets drained out of you back to 3. And
So that would be 27.
that'd be 27, not 17.
Yeah.
Plus 3 whole stamina and you only have 1 afterwards. So that would be
technically 2
so
because
that
you
would
have
be
the first one.
27 heart containers plus 10 stamina vessels. That is 37 times 4 is 120 plus 20, 148. 148. Let's just subtract 5 or 20 in this case out of that because there are 5. I'm going to politely assume that there are 5 heart containers, 1 in each dungeon. Because I think that's a polite assumption. Because the Divine Beasts all had a heart container in them. So I think my logic isn't dead here. It actually makes some sense. But let's just say that brings it down to 128 possible shrines.
Yeah.
So let's just round that down to 120. There's 120 shrines. I'm just thinking logically here. But there are 120 shrines, and then I guess the DLC will probably give you another 4, kind of like how it did in Champion's Ballad. Oh, I know about it. It's pretty cringe. But what were you saying, Hunter?
I do not remember.
Oh, 128 shrines, but rounded down to 120. So I think there's 120, just a process of elimination and inferring here. But what do you mean you want to know more? Because we already know about all that. Because it's at the very beginning. But so yeah, I'm gonna assume that there are 120 shrines scattered throughout the area. I don't know if there are gonna be light routes underneath where sky places are. I don't know if they will be or not. That'd be another speculation thing.
I mean, if there's one for every if there's one for every shrine, who knows? And
Yeah.
yes, we know about the
yeah,
first King of
Rauru.
Hyrule.
Yeah, dude, Moses, we already we discussed about this.
Yeah.
So I assume that's probably we're only going to be talking about early game here, Zach. That's just because we ourselves have only played like 5-6 hours each, and we're just discussing that much of the game. Also, Zelda's in the past. You know what? I've heard of that. I've heard theories of that. Is early game 6 hours in? Really? Oh. Yeah, I played Tears of the Kingdom for like 6 hours, dude. I've mentioned this before.
Same.
Yeah, both of us has played 6 hours each. 4 Hearts was a big mistake. Yeah, no shit. That sounds like fucking suffering.
Yeah, I tried to take on a Talus in the depths.
Why did you do that?
I had to run. I had been like, oh, I'm just gonna get some bomb flowers, and yeah.
Why the fuck did you do that?
I thought I could take it. Also, no spoilers, please, Moses.
Yeah, no spoilers here, Moses, please.
Yeah,
That's late game, bro.
yeah, that's late game. We don't want to know.
We're only talking about early game here.
Yeah, freaking Lord of the Rings Zelda.
Bruh. That sounds fucking terrible. Just destroy the rings, guys, forehead. You don't have to make 5 fucking movies or whatever amount of movies just about destroying a ring.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Now, I did know that. Now, this was already common knowledge because one of the Italian voice actors for Goron accidentally fessed this up. But I do know for a fact, and also trailers confirm this too, you will be dealing with the descendants of the champions. That we already knew. That we already knew.
Yes. Obviously, Ganon's way harder.
Well, Ganon in Breath of the Wild was a cakewalk. You just had to parry the laser gun that he had, and his final form as a pig was like, "Ha! Shoot the targets. My brother in Christ, I know how to use a bow."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could hear the pig squealing from a mile away. The squealing of terror.
Yeah. No, what that final phase is just a victory lap, and what if you get all 4 divine beasts activated?
Yeah.
That Ganon fight's a cakewalk.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild Ganon was.
Breath of the Wild was just the beginning. Well, like that we already knew. That was common knowledge.
Yep.
That was common knowledge. The enemies are way more Oh yeah, combat is way harder. Everything's a damage sponge.
Yeah.
The weapons break easy.
Yeah, there's a variety of reasons for that.
Yeah.
The enemies are alive
harder. Alive harder. I'm gonna assume that he meant a lot harder, not a live harder.
That just sounds funny though.
But no,
you should quote
that. The enemy. You know what? I'm quoting that. I'm quoting that now. Add quote. The enemies are alive harder.
That just deserves to be quoted because
Moses, you will go down in history for that. In this Twitch channel. But yeah, so I should mention this to anybody in in this. I will be streaming Tears of the Kingdom day 1 after I get off work because it'll be a Friday. Wait, and part of history Twitch. Yeah, you're part of history of this Twitch channel. It is quite epic. But yeah, if you guys want to follow for that, because I'll be doing that on the 12th. And on the 3rd, I'll be playing probably like 12 hours on the 13th, honestly. I'll be going ham on this game. Because I wanna dig right into this fucking thing. And Hunter, I'm pretty sure you're gonna do the same. You're gonna dig right into this fucking thing and enjoy it.
The moment I can get my hands on it, yeah.
Oh, you bet your fucking ass. I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking that Splatoon 3
same
cartridge out and I'm putting the
She
fucking
is going to be all in on this. She's going in completely.
I do not, Moses. I do not, Moses. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I want that to be a secret until I find out. But I will find that out myself. Anything we haven't
discussed, keep it a secret.
Anything we haven't discussed, keep it to yourselves, please. I'd appreciate it.
Yes.
Because what we're doing is just painting a better picture. We're just painting a better picture because of Nintendo not painting a better picture. Because Nintendo's just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna keep quiet about the first couple hours of the game, so you just have to find out yourself, and that's not fun. So I wanted to play a game,
but that's like nothing.
Yeah, I wanted to play a demo of the game, and I got to, so I'm happy. So what have you tried to build so
I
far?
built a freaking bus.
Yeah, he built a bus. I built a car that only drove forwards and backwards. It didn't turn.
I
Apparently,
also
there's a
built
way
a
to
chest
steer.
on wheels
Oh
that
yeah,
tried to run me
built
over
like a chest.
immediately.
You built a chest rack and just attached wheels to it like a mental lad.
Yeah, and then the chest tried to run me over. In
What?
America, you open chest. In Russia, chest opens you.
That's funny. But no, there
I should have attached a fire emitter to the front of the chest now that I'm thinking about it.
dude, that would have been funny as shit. That would have been
And then
funny as
another
shit.
one to the top of it.
I
And
tried to
then
put
4
those
more
fans
on
on
each of the
wings and glide down a
wheels.
mountain. It didn't work. Oh, you were trying. Okay, that's another issue. I've been trying to find out how to use those wings, and they always get stuck on the ground. Like you try to push them off, but you can't because they'll just fall off before you can get on them. I don't know. I have issues with those things.
Yeah,
Well,
you know more
you know more than
about
us,
it than
but we're
us,
also gonna
and
keep quiet about it because, like,
Mhm.
all I played was the early game. The more and more I listen, the more. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil people the game. I want to give
We don't
people
want to
insight
spoil
to the
it,
game.
but we want to make you excited about it because this game deserves the
It
excitement.
deserves it. For
The
once,
devs also deserve to be credited for all of this
yeah.
because they did amazing.
Yeah, you can
with
only launch
this.
from rails. That's stupid, bro. That's fucking that's dumb.
Glide down from the rails.
You can only glide down from rails. That's dumb, bro. You should be able to use that on like any like just drop off surface, in my opinion.
Just like suddenly flying.
But I guess that's to like nerf it so that you can't just
Yeah.
abuse it like a
Because
paraglider.
otherwise it would be
That's why he tried to
launch.
fans. Fair point, bro. Fair point. That's a smart move.
Yeah.
That being said, once we get a hold of rockets more often, rockets are fun, by the way. Rockets are very fun.
Ooh.
Once we get a hold of rockets, which are apparently like, I'm going to say middle game or maybe even late game. I don't know when,
Yeah.
and I don't want you chat to tell me. But
Do not tell us.
yeah, don't
yes,
tell us.
we
But
know the underground map is big.
the underground map is like not 1-to-1, but like pretty damn close to a 1-to-1 of the surface.
Yeah, I did some exploring in the depths.
Yeah. There's like a lot of loot down there, but also a lot of risk down there because you can get your HP sapped just like if you were playing Fallout, as well as other things. It's just it's dangerous, but the rewards are worth it.
Yeah, thankfully the HP sap isn't how it works in Fallout where it just constantly decreases. It's only if you get hit.
Okay.
Or if you stand in the gloom.
So have you played Fallout?
No.
Okay. I haven't either, but like I've seen plenty of gameplay to at least know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But no, the game looks fully fleshed out. There are a couple gripes I have with it, like the item durability and a couple other things, like maybe, I don't know, performance issues and stuff. Yeah, Moses, we know already. The mouse holes, we know that already. But
yeah, there's a good chunk of stuff we know and a good chunk of stuff we don't know and don't want to know.
Yeah, there's a good chunk of stuff where it's like, oh yeah, Ganon does this. No, we don't want to know that. We don't want to know that.
Ganon fucks your mom.
Ganon fucks your mom using a hoe.
Terrible joke by me.
Yeah. By the way, your
Terrible
mom
joke
is
by
in
me.
the game. There are still farming hoes in the game, aka your mom. Yeah, basically all we're spoiling here is the early game, aka stuff that should have appeared in a demo. And frankly, I have no guilt telling you guys about the early game because it's kind of needed. If I'm to be very frank with you, the trailers have shown jack shit. Nintendo is great at doing that. They're great at showing just enough to convince a couple people to buy it. And especially if it's a bad game like Mario Golf or something, they'll convince people to buy it and they'll just drop it dead. And when you play the story of it, it's like, wow, this is shit.
Zelda makes you immune to poison in Smash Bros. Probably because the malice.
Why is Zelda make you immune to poison in Smash Bros? Or what?
He's talking about the spirit, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well,
like the reference.
Yeah, that's probably that maybe. Also, Tears of the Kingdom wasn't even out when Smash came out, so there's probably no like, there's probably no
Tears of the Kingdom reference, but
yeah, no Tears
Breath
of
of
the
the
Kingdom
Wild.
reference. But what else is there? What else is there?
I'd say maybe talk about how some of the mini bosses are beefed up.
Oh yeah, the mini bosses are beefed up. Taluses now have like basically giant fucking camps on them, like bokoblin camps and stuff. So you know how there are
I don't
those
think either of
trees?
us have encountered those.
What?
But
Well,
have you
you know,
encountered one of the
I've not encountered
Talus
one,
camp things?
but I've
No.
seen them on trailers, so I know they
Yeah.
exist. And they were official
But
trailers, so it's common knowledge. I'm allowed to spoil it.
yeah. Hinoxes are interesting.
Hinoxes are interesting. They're a lot more interested in using their head. And I mean that, like they like slamming their head on the ground instead of ground
My
pounding.
head!
Why do I have to use my head? Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Hinoxes, they're a little more dangerous because they'll like to head bop you. And Taluses now have like basically a bokoblin camp or whatever
Not all
ingrained
of them.
into them.
Because the one I encountered in the depths didn't
He
have
didn't?
that.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
He was just straight up Talus. But that's probably because he was gloom covered.
How how do you kill that thing? Is there still like you don't?
I think you're able to touch them. I'm not sure, but I didn't take the risk. I tried to shoot it with bomb arrows. I missed. And then I missed again. And so on. And I was like, you know what? I'm screw this, and I ran.
I will mention that there is a Hinox on a bridge that leads towards Rita Village, and I fought that one, and I had difficulties with it. I died to it once, and then the game crashed on me, and I had to redo it again, and that was really fucking annoying. But I killed the thing. It just, I had to burn like 3 weapons doing that, and that pissed me off because like that's my problem with the durability in this game is that, well, it's just dumb, bro. It makes no, like, you give me a reward of a Hinox horn that deals like 12 extra damage at the downside of losing like 3 weapons. Like, what's the point? Why fight it? There's no real like enjoyability there. You can choose it with hitting. Oh, I knew that. Like, I hit it a couple times in the eye. I hit it with a bomb arrow in the eye or a bomb flower in the eye. But like, even then, it's still hard.
Light his weapon off. Yeah. That's a good way to mess with any of the enemies, really. You just light them on fire.
Yeah, that's really
kind of what I did with a lot of the depths enemies.
Well, you kind of have to because you don't want them touching you or hitting you.
Yeah, I'm just like, you're on fire now. You're also on fire now. Oh yeah, you're on fire now too.
You're Oprah Winfrey, but you roast people, literally.
Yes. You get fire. You get fire. Everybody gets fire. Oh wait, you're all dead.
No, you get a char. You get a char. You get a char.
You get a fire fruit to the face.
Yeah, no, you are a one-hit kill to the Hinox, at least early game. Like, or at least not all the time. I was somehow able to take a hit at full HP and lose 3 1/4 hearts, so I'd have a quarter heart remaining. And I had that happen multiple times, so I was like, okay, cool. So that happened. What's my most hated mob? I would say Lionel's in Breath of the Wild. In this game so far, I don't know, because I typically avoided most of the enemies.
Wait, no. Guardian's early game.
Guardian's early game, but then you learn how to get good and parry them. And then they become much less of a threat. And then you start to hate Taluses and Lionels more.
You just whack it off, and then they're just.
What are the dungeons in a game? We don't know, and we
do not know. We don't want to know.
We played. Both of us played about 5 or 6 hours each. So
and
the farthest I went
more until after the game releases, and we have it.
The farthest I went was activating the Central Tower, the Ridgeland Tower, and the Hebra Tower. And then I immediately stopped playing after that. So
I activated a couple towers and did some digging into depths and activated a few light routes.
Yeah. So we both did a different thing, and we didn't really, like, we didn't really advance the story that much. We just, like, I got to Rito Village, and that was it. Hunter
he did more exploration on the surface. I did more exploration in the depths.
Exactly.
So,
but no, so yeah, we just don't want to get spoiled for the new dungeons, but we know they exist. We know they exist, and that's cool. I'm really happy about that. But
the only real surface exploration I did was managing to get to Great Plateau.
Yeah, which is like a war
It is
field.
a husk of its former self.
Yeah, it is a war field.
Yeah. And like the wall around it was all crumbling too.
I
Like it
mean,
was
gotten
a
the
bit
Rito yet? Nothing
damaged
special
in
there.
Breath of the Wild. It is broken. Straight up broken.
So the Rito village is under a blizzard. Most of the people have abandoned it and have moved elsewhere, which is why you see a giant influx of Rito population everywhere else. But the only people that are still there are the kids. The kids like that do the Warbler's Nest quest shrine. They're all there, or most of them are still there. I think the red, the green, blue, and the purple one are still there, if I remember correctly. But basically, it's snowed out there. I don't know if Cass is still in the game or not. I actually don't know that. That is one thing I actually don't know. I know Impa is still in the game. I know Robbie, Pura, most of the Sheikah are still in the game.
We don't know if the Burb Bard is still here.
The Yiga are back. I encountered
course.
one. I encountered one entering Hyrule Ridge Chasm. They still exist. So, yippee, I guess.
He had a different first encounter with the depths than I did.
Yeah, I entered via Hyrule Ridge. He entered via the tutorial way. The Ents. Yes, I've met Ents.
Oh yeah.
Ents are a thing, and I hate them. Hestu.
Right, it's raining.
Hestu is still in the game, and you can upgrade your inventory via Hestu. Koroks are still in the game as a result. There are some Koroks that you have to basically grab and bring over to its buddy. And then there are also just some that you just pick over a puzzle. Where is Hestu? Rough, thank you for the follow. Hestu is en route to Rito Village. I believe he's just past the one stable there. New Serene Stable, just northwest of there. But he's right in front of two Ents that you have to kill, and then he's relieved, and then you give him some seeds to upgrade your inventory, yada yada. But no, it like again, that I don't consider spoilery because again, that's early game. Like it's good to at least know these things because you're gonna need them. You're gonna need this advice if you want to actually like get the game off on the right foot or left foot. I don't know. On the correct foot.
In my case, I just went straight for the depths, so I guess I used my left foot.
Yeah. But no, game looks good. Highly recommend you guys get it if you haven't pre-ordered it already.
Oh yeah.
The only reason I played it early was because Nintendo was not wanting to share more gameplay with me. So I was like, "Fuck you guys! I'm downloading the game and I'm playing it." And I'm satisfied.
Demo,
I'm satisfied.
In a way.
I'm very satisfied with how the game looks. So you can bet your fucking ass I'm going to be playing that day one as soon as I get home from work. I'm popping that sucker in. I'm doing an unboxing of it live. Popping that sucker into my Switch and we're playing for like hours. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Genuinely very excited. This is, and like when I was playing through the game, through the first 6 hours, or at least once I got off the Great Sky Island, I shit you not, it reminded me of being back in high school, playing that game when it came out, standing at GameStop, being like 6 in line on getting my Switch day one. It reminded me of that. It gave me nostalgia for the Breath of the Wild experience when that came out. And that game was magical when it came out. And I'm telling you, you will have the same exact experience. It is immersive. It just it feels like you're there in a way, and it's just I don't know. I love it.
The really neat thing is if you've played Breath of the Wild, you'll get that sense of familiarity.
While at the same time, it also being surreal.
Yeah, it's just like It's the same, but not the same.
It's the same map, quote
Mhm.
unquote, but everything is fucked up and different.
Yep. Everything has changed from what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, it's still insane
Yes,
because it feels so. It's
tightly
just,
knit.
yeah, it's just amazing what they did with this game.
And there are still like a couple weird questions that I have for myself that I don't want any of you answering, but I'm just gonna voice them out now. Like, obviously, what the fuck is in Death Mountain? Is there a dungeon in there? Is there
Mm-hmm.
like the deaths in there? And another thing, what the fuck is that void where the Gerudo Tower was? Does that go to the depths? Is that a bottomless pit still? Where does it go? I was dreaming of that the other night, yesterday night. I was dreaming of that. I'm like, where does that go? Where does that go?
Oh yeah.
It has to do something. But I
Mm-hmm.
remember explicitly thinking about that like last night or 2 nights ago, and I'm like,
Maybe that's why there's Yiga in the depths.
and where are the Lionels? That's another good question because I haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen one and I don't plan to see one. Um,
Also, a funny nod that put it might be intentional, it might not be, but since Zelda is the one who gives you the recall ability, it could be a nod back to Ocarina of Time, where she gives you the ocarina that lets you go back in
it could
time.
be. I hope they made them a lot stronger. Even I hope they're not in a game, bro. Because if they are in a game, they're just gonna be like giant damage sponges that you fight for like 30 minutes, and that's not gonna be fun. That's just gonna
Yeah.
be like, oh yes, look at my dick. It's so huge. I'm so good, aren't I? Like honestly, and this is gonna be me putting down a lot of Breath of the Wild players. That's all Lionel fights are. I'm sorry. That's all they are. I know that's a very hot take. But I don't know.
Well,
Like they're
if
useful,
you think
yeah.
that's a show off, then I know someone who did every single Lionel fight before a Blood Moon.
Yeah, I knew about that. I've heard of that. What are all the new towns? I don't actually know them all. I don't know them all.
Um, I
We
know
know for a
that
fact Terrytown exists still,
yes,
because
Terrytown still exists.
that has been quoted in context numerous times. That Terrytown still exists.
The only ones
Lookout
that
Landing.
seemed
Lookout Landing
I
is still there, or is a new location.
I think Hateno still exists, and it's now the fashion center according to the cutscene I saw.
Okay.
That guy did his work well.
Okay. I'm curious about Gerudo Town. I'm wondering what the fuck happened there. I'm assuming Zora's Domain is still intact.
Mhm.
Rito Village is still intact-ish. And then
Yeah,
I don't know what's
those were
happening
all
with Goron
mentioned.
City.
Yeah, so it's just so surreal seeing this world in such a state.
Yeah, it is, and it's immersive, but it's also like it's creepy because it wasn't like that before, but now it is.
Mm-hmm. It just feels wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Make them a lot more hard, not big HP sponges. Okay, okay.
Yes.
Like a lot more. Oh, a lot more moves. Okay, I was like, Zach, what the
Yeah,
fuck are you
like
talking
make
about?
them
They're
more
already
mini
HP
boss
sponges in
and
Breath of the
not
Wild.
just big fat boy.
Yeah,
That's wrong enemy. Big fat boy
is Hinox.
is yes, Hinox. That's big fat boy. We want Lionel.
Breath of the Wild, they were too easy once you knew the routine. Well, I mean, fair, but I don't
Yeah,
know. I just
they
thought they were
were
just giant damage sponges, and I
they were
didn't like
just
fighting them.
long. They're they're easy, but they're very time
I
consuming.
I thought they were boring, and I thought like, oh, look at me, I'm killing all the
Exactly.
Lionels. It's just like, eh.
Long, time
Farming Guardians is
consuming,
more fun.
and no real point to them.
Farming Guardians is more fun than farming Lionels. Like
Exactly.
anyone can agree with me on that. If you don't agree with me on that, you're crazy. How long before the player can access the underground? Basically, as soon as you jump off the Skylands, you can access it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I shit you not. As soon as you jump off the island, you drop into a water pool below, and maybe a half-mile walk, and there's a pit leading
You
into the
probably
underground.
want to get the paraglider first,
Yeah,
which
do get
requires the
yeah. You have to get the paraglider first, or else
yeah.
you will
There's a
like.
short little quest of getting the tower in Lookout Landing, But after that, you can just go and yeet yourself down.
Yep, exactly. And regardless, you should get the tower anyways because, well, you need to chart that fucking map, dude. It's basically required that you get the towers now. You can't just waltz away from the towers like you did in Breath of the Wild. You need the towers now.
Yeah, because the map is insanely different.
You jumped in the chasm before the glider. Ah, GG. Oh yeah, it was it's a super long way down. Like I remember in my one gameplay video I posted before it got taken down, I would hit my glider for like a second and then I'd fall for like 5 seconds. So I'm like, and then I pull the glider out again because I'm like, oh, where's the bottom? Where's the bottom? And I burned through like half my stamina wheel, like wondering where the bottom was because it was just pitch fucking black. And I was like, where is it? I don't know. I can't see it. And then finally I hit the rock bottom and I'm like, wow, that is a long way down.
Depths is insane.
It's basically, think Blackreach meets Dark World of Link to the Past. It's nutty.
You want to have light
you want to have light up arrows.
Seeds.
You do want to have the bloom seeds or whatever they're called to
whatever
navigate.
They are, but you don't need to use arrows.
What can you use then?
If you hold down the L button, or no, not the L button, the R button, as if you're going to throw your weapon, you can press up on the D-pad and select one of the seeds, and you can just throw the seed straight up.
I didn't know that.
You can also throw other stuff that way too.
I didn't know that. Today I learned.
Yep.
But you can use the lamp arrows, or you can throw any item that way.
You can if you want, but it's better
to save
the arrows.
That is a cool new addition. I wonder if you can use that to actually hurt enemies with. That'd be cool if so.
Pretty sure you can if it's the right item.
All right. No, I like that.
Because if you threw, say, a fire fruit, it would light stuff on fire.
That's it. Yep. No, that's cool.
So
you can. Oh my god, you can throw bombs. Oh my god, I've been wanting that for so long. I didn't even know you could do that. Now I know that. Thank you.
Yep.
So you hold the throw button and then up arrow and.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, kind of like how you select something to stick on your bow, except you hold the throw button.
That's clever. I like that. Good on the devs for thinking about that. You know, after what you guys have played, do you think Tears of the Kingdom is better than Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
I'm cautiously saying yes.
Honestly, I'm just saying yes straight up because already there's some serious improvement.
Oh, there's definitely a lot of QOL stuff.
Yeah, there's just so much quality of life stuff and so much content and all of that. I don't even have to wait.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Zach, I didn't actually do the beginning of the depths. I jumped into the Hyrule Ridge chasm. I never actually took, like, the central chasm. So, that's where I fucked up.
Yeah, he just went into the depths a different way, and he did not use the Robbie
I never took the tutorial. What are you supposed to do in depths? Get Zonite, get a bunch of other, like, rare materials. A lot of high-risk stuff down there. But it pays off if you get it. You have to activate light roots. And these light roots show you where the shrines are. Because if there's a light root, there's a shrine above it on the surface.
Yep,
and another cool little fun fact. A light root and its shrine have their names inversed. Runikit Shrine has Tick a Run light root. So basically just think of the name and just like flip it over. That's how that works.
So if you're having trouble finding a shrine, go into the depths and find a light root.
And the light roots are visible from really far away because they're these giant like orange, red, like glowing sacks.
Yep, and then when you switch over to so basically move your cursor over the light root and then switch to the surface, and if there's not a shrine there,
go to it.
Toss a pin on there.
Yep. No, that's actually a really effective way of locating them. And you don't need a guy for that. All right, take
All
care,
right.
Zach. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it.
Yep. But yeah, there is a lot of cool details in Tears of the Kingdom
Very,
to the
very.
point where I can just say that it's better.
I'm gonna be more cautiously optimistic. I
That's
like it so
fair.
far. I can't say if it's better or not. What I can say, it's damn good. But I
It's
won't say it's
definitely
better or not
there.
until I play like maybe 40, 50 hours of it. And then
I
I'll
will
and then
agree
I'll
with
give
you
you my
there.
resolution.
As of right now, for the first chunk of the game, it's better.
Yeah. No, it's very decent. It's very decent and
Mhm.
enjoyable. Um
So consider if we're to consider the first 6 or so hours of Tears of the Kingdom compared to the first 6 or so hours of Breath of the Wild.
that's a good comparison. So, the first 6 hours of Breath of the Wild, yes, you could run straight to the castle, but let's just think logically here and say let's run towards Kakariko. The beginning of the
Let's say you're
game,
not a speedrunner.
yeah, let's just say you are a normal, like average Joe Schmo playing Breath of the Wild for the first time. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna beat the Great Plateau, and because the King of Hyrule's like, you should probably go to Kakariko Village, you're gonna go to Kakariko Village, and
Mm-hmm.
you will that like getting off the plateau takes about 3 hours. I'm gonna admit that it
Mm-hmm.
probably takes about 3 hours, but it's a good tutorial island. I think they did a good job with that. Once you get off of that, it takes another maybe hour and a half. No, probably an hour to get to Dueling Peaks Tower. I would say maybe an hour. And then like
Yeah.
maybe another hour to get to Kakariko, provided you don't hit the shrines, but you probably do. So that like let's just round up and say an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already at 5 hours and 5.5 hours, and you're
Yeah.
just at Kakariko. There is a lot more content in Tears of the Kingdom in the first 6 hours than there is in Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Breath of the Wild is
And
a
there's still
lot of
clearly
open
more to
space.
come.
Breath of the Wild is a lot of open space. Tears of the
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom is a lot more tightly knit, and that's a good thing. There's always something to do or something to see, and
Mm-hmm.
that is impressive.
Yep. Because even though Breath of the Wild had a lot of open space to look around and a lot of stuff to do, that gets old eventually. As my sister found out quickly doing her no teleportation run.
Yeah, that
Because
will do it.
eventually it's just like
There's a lot of just empty space, like in North Eldin, where Typhlo ruins is. There's a lot of just emptiness. Oh yeah, I've done teleportless playthroughs before Breath of the Wild, and I enjoyed it.
Mhm,
But there's a lot of like, if you were to rewatch any of that gameplay, you'd be bored out of your fucking mind, because there's a whole load of nothing in a lot of parts of Breath of the Wild.
mhm,
Akala is beautiful, and there's a lot of stuff to do in most of Akala. But once you get to like the woodland area outside of the Great Forest, Hyrule Forest, a lot of that area is empty. A lot of the
mhm,
Gerudo Desert is relatively empty. There are some spots that have like use. The Gerudo Highlands is basically empty. There are a couple
mhm.
like skull caves and
Empty,
stuff like
empty,
that.
empty, empty, empty.
But there's a lot of emptiness. Um Around the
Tears of the
Serene Stable.
Kingdom,
Yeah, the Serene
not so much.
Stable. The Serene Stable's empty. Like all it is just that and a couple trees and a couple mushrooms, and then there's nothing for a little bit until I believe there's a Lionel there, or no, it's not a Lionel. It's a couple bokoblins on horseback. But my point
Yep.
stands. There's not much in most of the area.
Hmm.
Northeast Tabantha, or
Yeah.
Hebra. Sorry, Hebra. Like that's mostly empty. The Tanagar Canyon, for God's sake, is mostly empty. Like the Tanagar Canyon has that one golf course, and that's about it.
I think you can hear the weather here.
Is it stormy? I know you guys have
Yep.
had like red flag warnings up the ass there.
Yeah. But right now it is storming a little bit and
It's
there's
fun.
lightning. But Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, first 6 hours consists of a lot more. Because first 3 hours, once again, is the tutorial section.
Yeah.
Hour after that is Lookout Point. Or Lookout.
Look, whatever that's called, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, it tells you to go to Rito, and that's about the 6 hour.
Actually, you have the choice of either going to Rito or you encountered Robbie earlier in. You can talk to him, and he talks about going back, and he gives you that sort of quest where, and he just jumps down the freaking chasm.
How does he survive?
I don't know.
Sure, I have a question. How many times did they mention the goddess Hylia? Not too many. Not too many, actually.
Yeah.
They don't mention her much.
But yeah, so you talk to Robbie. He's like, "Oh yeah, let's go down and take a picture of some random statue down there. That's interesting." And you go there to meet up with him, but he's already yeeted himself down the chasm. And then you get down there, and there's somebody there who's like, "Yeah, he went over this way, and he was gonna stop here, but then he kept going, and then he kept going." And you have to go to another light route to the west of the first one to actually catch up with him.
Does Robbie have a voice actor? I don't think he does. I think it's just like random groans.
I'm not sure.
I know Pura has a voice actor. I'm pretty sure.
I think he does voice act at one point. I can't remember for sure though.
I'm pretty sure Pura does have a couple voice lines. Ganon has great voice lines. Zelda, of course, has great voice lines as ever. Link is silent.
Link has voice lines. April Fools! No, he doesn't.
Yeah. Again, all we did is early game, so that's all we can go off of. I'm damn sure that like all the champion descendants will have voice lines. That's obvious and inferable as hell. There's a couple things like that.
We might get more voice lines from Rauru later in the game, but we aren't sure.
Rauru had a couple voice lines. I completely forgot about that, but you're right about that.
Yeah. But yeah, so
is Impa still alive? Yes, Impa is still alive.
We know that much at least. We don't know what the case.
Because you can encounter her near the New Serene stable. She is very much alive and very much kicking. Almost literally.
Oh, he has a number of lines actually. Yeah, that makes sense. I think.
Referring to
that
Robbie.
Rauru or Robbie?
Robbie.
Makes sense.
Did you find a Master Sword? No, because the Master Sword was damaged and given to Zelda. That's how early game we are, dude. That's how early game we are, Josh.
We don't know anything.
And we don't know, and we don't want to know.
No, we do not want to know.
We don't want to know until the game comes out, essentially.
Yes.
Or once we find out.
We are going in mostly blind. You can get early game low.
Well, I mean, still, it'd be nice to just keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it on down low.
We want to go in mostly blind, aside from what we've already seen.
Yeah. Like, no offense to you, it's just that, like, we want to enjoy the game, because, like, the only reason...
This was meant to be, like, a sort of demo.
The only reason us two played for a couple hours was to actually get a feel of the game, because Nintendo clearly didn't want you to.
Yeah, and my sister doesn't know squat.
You'll never figure it out, so just keep in mind it's where you think it is. Okay.
Makes sense.
I'm just gonna assume it's there, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what there is, but yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions anyone has? Anyone want to bite and say anything? Again, if you want to follow, it is free. I'll be doing a shit ton of gameplay over the weekend of this game launching. I guarantee you that. I will be trying my damnedest to get a 12-hour stream on Saturday.
To the left, up your ass and to the left.
Yeah, that's where your pants are, CJ. But no, I'll be trying to do a 12-hour stream on Saturday the 13th. As soon as I get home from work, I'm going to veg and just play the fuck out of the game. I'm going to play the game as much as I can until I get bored of it. That's literally what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably sink 30 hours into the game, 40 hours into the game, and maybe finally stop and do something else, and then come back to it like the next day.
In short, buy the game.
Yeah, buy the game, honestly.
Odds are you won't regret it.
Yeah. This is one of the few times where I'll say a $70 game is worth it. And I mean that. That's weird for me to say as a person who hates the ever-increasing cost of games and who just, in general, despises Nintendo. I fucking hate the company, and I hate what they do. You're talking to a guy who has, like, a ROM set of almost every game ever made from them. I hate them. But this might actually be worth putting 70 towards. Has anything happened with
We don't know anything
we don't
about
know about the
Alcala
Alcala
Citadel.
Citadel, unfortunately, because we never traveled over there. That was just out of the question for us, because that was all the way on the northeast side. Though I do want to go to the Alcala Tech Lab. Even though that might be gone, I don't know, and I want to see the...
Wait, do you mean the top right of the map?
Yeah, Alcala Citadel is where the Alcala Tower is.
In that case, I do know, because it's mentioned with Robbie during the end of the whole camera quest. That's now the PuraPad development center or production center.
Oh, okay.
So it is still technically there.
Cool. All right.
So, and the camera is just one of the upgrades that can be made to the PuraPad.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, future ones, you can go up there and re-meet with Robbie to do those.
Can we get Cryonis, please? Just kidding. No, can we get remote bombs, please? I would kill for some remote bombs, because that's the one thing I hate about Tears of the Kingdom. Is there no more bombs? You don't have infinite bombs anymore. And God, it's useful.
Bombs?
That is the one thing I'm pissed off about, is that you don't have bombs anymore, and that pisses me off.
Yeah. Well, aside from bomb flowers.
Well, I know they're bomb flowers, but like, oh, those are expensive and
those
hard to
are
find.
tricky to get a hold of, because as of so far, we've only seen them on the Sky Islands and in the depths.
Yeah, they're not easy to come by. That's my gripe with them.
Maybe once we get like a Sheikah sensor thing again.
Oh yeah, that exists. I forgot that existed.
If we get there again.
I have not found any of the Great Fairies, but I assume that there are going to be 4 of them like the last game. The one thing I will ask though, and I don't care if I get spoiled this, there are no elemental arrows. You have to fuse arrows with stuff to make them elemental. I'll tell you that there's a lot of content in the Skylands. I totally had a feeling that would be true. But I'm going to assume that the Great Fairies are in the Sky Islands and not where they were in Breath of the Wild. And I don't want a yes or no question to that. I don't, or yes or no answer to that. I'm just going to assume.
Yeah, don't say yes or no. Just let him assume. And there aren't any elemental arrows now. But due to that, arrows, like plain arrows, seem to be more common.
Plain arrows are hella abundant. And you can combine them with fire fruits, which are hella abundant.
You can combine them with a lot of different stuff.
You can fuse it with chew jelly, which gives it the certain element it has. It's just, there's a lot of stuff you can do with monster parts and stuff like that now.
Yep, and I believe you can combine it with a lot of other stuff. Also, combining a mushroom and a weapon makes it bouncy and increases knockback, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, I found out when an enemy launched me with one of those weapons.
That's funny.
I'm surprised I survived that, but yeah. Because I was like, how the heck did that thing send me flying? And I just look and I'm like, bouncy stick. And I looked close and there's a mushroom.
Bouncy stick. Yes.
Yeah. I also made a thick stick.
Oh my god.
I took a thick stick and I added a stick to it.
Thick
stick.
What about thick stick?
I could probably do that too if I get a second thick stick.
Or a very thick stick.
I don't know if there's very.
Boko bats. Boko bats are renamed to very thick sticks.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay, I'll have to find a very thick stick,
Maybe it'll be a thick... Dude, I'm telling you, there better be some motherfucker that mods Tears of the Kingdom so that anytime the word thick comes up, it just replaces the K with a C. That needs to be mod. Someone write this down. Write this down. It is simple. You just literally change the text files in the game to say CC instead of CK. It is so easy. Some motherfucker better do it.
thick stick.
Nintendo could have had $1 billion idea, but no. Us modders have to do it, and then they'll DMCA the mod because it's a mod. By the way, if anybody wants the Breath of the Wild multiplayer mod, I have a Google Drive link for it because Nintendo's being a pissant and trying to prevent people from getting it, even though it is completely copyright free.
You're being a pissant towards Small Ant.
No, not Small Ant, Point Crow.
Point Crow. I was close.
They're both the same, essentially. I'm not wrong.
Kind of. Not quite, but kind of.
Yeah, but point stance.
They play games together at times, so you can see why I got it wrong.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's just it was a funny joke that was slightly incorrect, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But no, somebody needs to make a thick mod that just changes all the thicks to thick with 2 C's. All right. Any other questions? Anything anybody else wants to mention? I think we've been going for almost 2 hours talking about Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and
this
a
is
few
a
other
very
things,
good
but mostly
podcast.
Tears of the Kingdom. I'd say that overall, get Tears of the Kingdom. Get Deers of the Kingdom.
Gears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
What is this? Fucking Spirit Tracks meets Breath of the Wild?
Deers of the Kingdom.
You must hunt all the deer.
No, the deer hunt you.
What is this? Blood and Bones Minecraft?
No, Link is one of the deer.
Legend of Zelda X Guilty Gear crossover? Oh my fucking god. No, shut up. Shut up. Shut up, Meg. Shut up, Meg.
Oh boy. There are so many funny things that could come about from simple misspellings.
Yeah. Yes, CJ. Yes. But no, I'm excited for the game. I highly recommend you guys pre-order it. I'm not trying to sound like a fucking Nintendo show because I'm not. But yeah, it's a good game. I would highly recommend you get it, pre-order it.
This specific game deserves it.
Yeah. There are very few games that I think are worth their money today. And this seems to be one of the few that has crossed that line and is worth its money. And I've only played it for 6 hours and I love it.
The devs worked hard on this game and it shows.
It really does. And you can tell that an hour of playing the game doesn't even scratch the fucking surface.
And it's games where the devs work hard on it like this and they don't have like bullshit like microtransactions.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. Games like this are the ones where the devs deserve it most.
Yeah.
So if you can buy the game, buy it.
And if you can't, well, I mean, there are other ways. Just saying.
Well, yeah, but do try and eventually buy the game like legitimately because the devs truly deserve it.
I do plan to buy a special edition myself. I literally got this from my credit card company, a $75 card. I literally could just buy a copy of it for free. And so yeah, I'm stoked about that. I'm basically paying nothing for a copy of Tears of the Kingdom. Dude, your mother plays video games? That's kind of based. You have a good mom.
Nice.
My mom doesn't play video games much anymore, but she plays like Galaga and Pac-Man. She loves Pac-Man, and
I know that my
I
mom
think
plays Crash
the most modern game that she enjoys is Donkey Kong Country. So that shows her age for you. That shows her age for you.
Yeah. I think I can say the same for my mom, except she plays like Crash Bandicoot games.
Oh, I did teach my dad and stepmom how to play Mario Party 6 with me one time. That was fun. Oh, speaking of buying this game, DLC. What are your speculations on DLC? I know for a fact there's going to be DLC.
Well, yeah. And hopefully it's just as good as the game itself.
I think it will. I have hope. DLC will be there. It's just an idea of, yeah, it's not an if statement. It's a when statement. I know for a fact there will be DLC. It's just, what will it be? Where will it be? And when will it be?
They're going to want to make a little bit more with it.
Yeah, where and what are they doing with the timeline? Well, Breath of the Wild apparently is where all three timelines converge, because that's a retcon and a half. And then Tears of the Kingdom is obviously like what I'm going to politely assume is 5 to 10 years after Breath of the Wild.
So there's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
And the fact that they brought back a whole ton of stuff from previous games.
Yeah, like likes and bomb arrows and shit.
Will they bring back more?
Bomb flowers. I mean, for the events Tears of the Kingdom discusses. Okay. That's an even weirder question. And I won't be able to answer
since we don't really know anything about the later game stuff. DLC likely dives into stuff that happens mid/late game.
Yeah, it touches on the War Before Ocarina of Time, where the official timeline incorrectly puts it after Ocarina of Time. So yeah. No, we didn't finish the game. No, we played like 6 hours of it, dude.
But that does help, since that actually makes sense.
Yeah, they're gonna have to retcon a bunch of shit.
That's a good way of putting it without spoiling the game itself, actually. So thank you for that.
Well, at the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom, they mentioned the war, the one war. I think they're gonna retcon. Well, they're gonna retcon something. They have to retcon something. It's a fucking spaghetti mess. The Zelda franchise, as we all know, we're all fans of it, but goddamn, is it a fucking mess? It's just like fucking Kingdom Hearts with Mr. Kingdom Hearts nerd over here. That's a fucking shithole of a franchise when it comes to story.
Light, darkness, hearts, yada yada yada.
And then half the games you have to play like the remaster like 3 times over in order to get a true ending. It's like, what the fuck, guys? Really?
Yeah. And you have to do it on the hardest freaking difficulty.
That's dumb.
Yeah, for the true ending, anyways.
But no, there's just like a lot of these kinds of franchises that have ballooned. Just the lore is just shot because there's so many installments, dude. Which was the events right after Ocarina of Time, and Ocarina of Time was supposed to discuss, but they instead comes after. Well, that leaves a whole fucking mess for the 3-way split of the timelines, because there's Link dies, there's Link goes back, there's the Link adult timeline and the Link child timeline, and that's a whole fucking mess. That whole game, Ocarina of Time, fucked up the entire franchise story-wise. I'm gonna be really frank with you here. I don't like that game. I don't like that game. It ruined the timeline. And God, the concepts are dated. I mean, it was an experiment, but like, God, I don't like that game. It is so flawed. I guess the 3DS remake helped, but I played the N64 Gold cartridge and I hated it. I'm talking gold cartridge, as in like, you know, a real gold cartridge with Islamic chanting in the fire temple. That one, I have that.
Nice.
But yeah, that game is just ugh. It's a
Raining
slogfest. I don't
again.
like it. But yeah, no offense to people that do like Ocarina of Time. It's just I find it horribly dated. It's like playing Half-Life today. Has anybody here ever played Half-Life 1? Great game for the 90s. Terrible game today. If you want to play it, you actually want to play Black Mesa. It's the same thing with Ocarina of Time. You don't want to play Ocarina of Time on the N64. You want to play it on the 3DS. I hate Skyward Sword, so I'm happy to see Skyward Sword's entire lore get retconned. Based. Based.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. These are also really good to have right now.
The 3DS? Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I need to soft mod mine. I need to soft mod mine. I'll have to do that. I soft mod my Wii U on stream not too long ago. That was a fun little shit fest.
Modding the 3DS these days is actually really good. Not for like games
Not
you
for
don't
the 8
have.
shop, but just for like the functionality.
Yeah.
Like being able to cheat and play coins and stuff is so good because you kind of need to.
Yeah. I literally went and made JSIC his own custom freaking theme.
Yeah, he did because
That's
he's a mad lad, and I still need to implement it on my 3DS, but it's really fucking cool. And
you can
I'm
make
very
your own custom home menu theme.
Yeah, that's really cool, and Hunter, thank you for that. I'm genuinely appreciative, and I can't wait to get that on my 3DS.
Hurry up and mod your 3DS.
I
so
know.
I
I
can see
just
your
don't have
3DS
the
with
dude.
that theme,
Dude,
dang it!
Look at my room. It's a mess. I haven't settled in my room completely yet, and I keep procrastinating to because you know how I am. And this is not even the worst of it. There's like 15 boxes like that you don't see.
If I was there, I would just stare at you from the hall door as you cleaned it up.
I would get a giggle out of that. But no. Any other questions anyone wants to ask about Tears of the Kingdom or anything like that, or any input you want? Because we're gonna wind it down here. Because I think we had a good talk. Oh, Ian's here.
We have Sun Visitor.
We have a visitor.
Oh,
we have a bup.
And we're currently doing we're currently winding down the Tears of the Kingdom podcast right now.
Okay, don't spoil anything for me. I'm going to try to be as much in the dark as possible.
All right. Okay. Well,
that was unanticipated.
I was not anticipating him to be here, but yeah. I'll
just suddenly bup.
Suddenly pineapples.
This does not help.
All right. Well, I guess in that case, since we're quite on the Western Front, chat doesn't have any more questions. I think we're going to end off here. Thank you all for being here. Hunter, thank you so much, dude. I greatly appreciate it for being here and, chatting with me and shooting the shit about this game. Get this game. I strongly recommend you do. It is great. Get it. If you can't get it, save up and, I don't know, wait to get it or get it as a Christmas or birthday gift or some shit. I don't fucking know. You do you.
This is probably one of the few games that you should get.
This is one of the few games in a long time that I've been anticipating, unironically, and after playing it, I am now satisfied with how the game looks and plays. So, and this is coming from a cynic who hates Nintendo games. Go get it.
Yep.
All right. Anyways, you all take care. I will see you all sometime soon. I believe Friday I'll be doing Gmod TTT, and then on Saturday I'll be doing Jackbox, and Sunday I'll be doing a community game. I might do something tomorrow. I don't know.
I'm considering streaming myself at some point, but I'm not sure when.
All right. Yeah.
But that's entirely different thing.
For those curious, my buddy here is Hunter. He also goes by SunMoonFX on Twitch and everywhere else. Really cool guy. He does a lot of Cryptid and Necrodancer and stuff. But yeah, huge shout outs to you, dude. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone in chat that followed or chatted or just, wanted to learn a couple things. And if you haven't followed already, feel free to. Anyways, I'll see you all
Follow him. He's really funny.
Thanks.
Chaos. Love the chaos.
All right. You all take care. I'll see you soon. Stay savage.